guess the thing you always just say is like, if you're savvy enough to log on to YouTube through, what is it, these first 2 weeks of 2022? Yeah. How you doing, man? Besides us getting sick, I don't know how I've been out like two days. It could have been just the flu, but yeah, I got the shivers. That one I'm going to call BS on, okay? Okay, the second. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. Hopefully you guys are doing well, staying blessed through, these first 2 weeks of 2022?
Pretty much,
yeah. How you doing, man? Besides us getting sick in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, we got sick.
Not the best way to start off the new year, but feeling better now.
A little virus put me out like 2 days. I don't know if it was the virus, though. It could have been just the flu, but yeah, I got the shivers. A fever. Luckily, I didn't get a cough or anything like that, but it definitely felt like flu-like symptoms. But man, it put me out 2 days.
Yeah, here's a little thing, guys. If Chris passed it on to his fiance, and then either him or her passed it on to me somehow because it was floating around the house. So, fun times. But I'm grateful to be healthy, and I'm telling you, when you get sick, it puts a lot of gratitude and perspective in you to put your health at the forefront, because you'll do anything to get out of that type of pain. I was bedridden for one full day. I'm like, if this happens again, I'm going to lose my stuff.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. Man. Yeah, it really is true.
All right, guys, enough of that stuff. So hopefully you guys are all healthy and staying well. So before we get into today's episode, there is a fee. There's a fee to the show, and it's a very simple fee. It's just value exchange. We're here showing up 2 times a week for you guys, either bringing in guests or Chris and I get on the mic and give you guys tons of value. So all we ask is just leave us a rating and review on the show. Very simple. Takes 1 minute, I believe, if that. Or if not, just share it out. Share the episode out on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, just so we reach more people. That's one of our big goals here too. And we're not running paid ads to the show. Yes, we do have some sponsors, but we don't run paid ads to the show. So we definitely appreciate your guys' help. So that's the fee, guys. Just please leave us a rating and review or share this episode out.
Absolutely.
Sound good?
Love it.
Okay. So so for today's episode, this is going to be a really, really good one. And I wanted to revisit this whole subject about crushing limiting beliefs and how to triumph over your inner obstacles. So we're going to go over 10 limiting beliefs that we feel are very, very common. And this could be directed straight to a health and fitness coach. It could be directed to anybody. We all suffer from limiting beliefs, and ultimately what that does is it robs us from our true greatness, and it paralyzes us, and it makes us live in fear, and it makes us live with that what if. And that's the last thing that you guys want to do. You guys hear us all the time. We sound like a broken record when it sounds like that, but we want you guys to live a faith-driven life, and a faith-driven life does not go hand in hand with living in fear. And, you have to conquer your guys' limiting beliefs at some point, and maybe you can't conquer them fully, but you guys have to sit there and be able to control them and just, just be a little bit more aware. Yeah. So I think that we'll cover a lot in this episode. And yeah, so before we get started, anything you want to just touch on limiting beliefs, or you just want to jump into it?
Not really, man. I want to just jump into these because we got 10 of them, so I want to tackle these and really give some value on them. So.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. So we'll just go back and forth on these. So the first limiting belief that we're going to cover is, I don't have enough time.
Can I tackle that one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, because that one right there, I don't have enough time. Whenever I hear that word, I don't have enough time, I used to catch myself saying that too. And all it is really is it's a lack of discipline, and it's a lack of having a system in your day-to-day schedule, right? So again, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. And that's another thing is when people say nobody's busier than other people. I don't agree with that, because I don't know what it's like being in a millionaire's shoes, with their time. I don't know what it's like being in a billionaire's time. I don't know what it's like being with somebody that has a family in their time, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. The time is different for people when it comes to that, right? But what I do know is that limiting belief that I don't have enough time, that's just a systems limiting belief inside of your day-to-day life and your lifestyle and your schedule, and it's a discipline issue at the end of the day, so that's my thoughts on the whole thing. I don't have enough time.
Yeah, I agree with you. Discipline's huge, and I would even say too that it's just it's not important enough to you. It's not a priority, and you guys all know that what you guys find as a priority, you guys will always make time for that.
Yeah.
I think that's such BS when someone says that there's just not enough time for something, because to me, I'll put this in the perspective of health and fitness. So if someone were to tell me, hey, I don't have 15 to 30 minutes to get daily exercise, that's bullshit. It really is. It really is. That if your health is not the forefront of everything and you can't spare 15 to 30 minutes to better yourself and keep yourself healthy, then I'm sorry, it's just not a priority.
Yeah, and another example is there's somebody who wants to grow their online business or something like that, right? When they say I don't have 5 or 10 hours per week to put in my business, I call bullshit on that too. Because you have weekends, and it's if you have a 40-hour a week job, okay, well, you still have, a whole another 40 hours, just after that, right? From 8 to 5, after 8 to 5, you have 5 to 10 or whatever, you have weekends. That's a whole another 40 hours. You can't squeeze 10 hours in there, come on.
Or you could wake up an hour earlier.
Exactly.
You could, cut out the Netflix crap, whatever it is that you're doing, towards the end of the tail end of the night, and it's there's always time.
Yeah.
So that's the first one, guys. If you guys are suffering with that, then that one I'm going to call BS on, okay? The second limiting belief is, I'm too old to start something new. I think this one's kind of funny too, but it is real. It's a real limiting belief, and I have several conversations too with a lot of health and fitness coaches, and I spoke to a female yesterday, and she's I want to say 42, she said, and she said that she feels so old with all the tech stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was telling her, I was well, you're not old. I was 42 is not old at all.
Yeah.
I was it's just about learning these skills. I was you're not good at it yet. Keyword is yet, but you have to master them, and you have to sit there and go along with the innovation if you want to stay in this game of being an online coach. Yeah. So when someone says that the limiting belief that I'm too old to start, it's just, again, it's a false belief pattern. I don't know who is telling you that. I don't know where you're listening to this story and saying that you can't get started because you're a certain age. There's so many successful entrepreneurs, millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires that have started in their 40s, even start in their 50s. There's never a time where it's too late or you're too old. It's just about you being willing to, understand the game and learn these skill sets and constantly evolve with what's going on.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%, man. It's just it's an excuse. It really is. I don't really have anything too much to add on.
No, and just real quick, for example, we have a couple students in our program, right? Some are in their 50s, some are in their 60s, and again, that's proof right there that they're not making excuses. So you're never too old to do something. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And if it's a tech issue, the thing we always just say is okay, well, if you're savvy enough to log on to YouTube and Netflix and do Uber and stuff like that and all that stuff,
Uber Eats,
you're pretty much, or even catch an Uber or Lyft. I mean, you're pretty much tech savvy enough to learn some basic stuff to build a business or whatever it is that you want to do with that.
100% agree, man.
All right. So limiting belief number 3 is past failure means future failure, right?
Okay.
And I totally understand this, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is a real one. I've had issues with this as well too. But I like what Kobe Bryant says, that one of our greatest fears is us failing, right? It's something like that. I don't want to butcher it, but and what he basically means is just that's what we fear the most, is us putting our 100% effort into it, going all in, putting all the chips on the table. And then if that doesn't sit there and succeed or pan out the way we want, then we're going to look at that as failure, and we're going to be wow, that just pretty much ruined our life, or just did X, Y, Z, right? Yeah. So I get it, man. This one's a really big one. It is, but you can't sit there and let this hold you back, from constantly moving forward. You just can't, because again, we've talked about it. Life is not this straight line, right? Entrepreneurship isn't this straight line. There's going to be just some zigzags, in that whole entire journey. But that's where you got to fall in love with the process, not the end product. That's what too many people want. They always look at the end destination of the product, right? Yeah. And they don't really understand that this is a journey that you're buying into. If you look at all those top dogs out there, Mark Zuckerberg, Bezos, even some of the athletes out there, it was never a straight line for them, right? Everybody just looks at where they're at now, but they never look at that squiggly line from wherever they started to where they got, and how many past failures they've had, how many limiting beliefs they've had, right? But that does not mean that you're going to have future failures just because you had past failures.
Man, that's good. I 100% agree on that. And the thing is, you just got to really kind of have that conversation with yourself too. What really is failure?
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? You lose a little bit of money. I don't know. What's the big deal? It's you still have your life. You still wake up in the morning with oxygen in your lungs, blood running through your veins. You have another day. You're very blessed and just gifted just for that. So why is it a failure? It should just be a lesson learned, and just don't make that same mistake again. But I get it. Like we've had tons of like quote unquote failures. And I just don't. I've learned to reframe my mindset and, to look at it as just lessons learned. I don't see it as failure.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the best thing you guys have to do when you guys are trying to conquer this limiting belief is just understand that it's not a failure. It's a lesson learned, and life is all about learning lessons, right? If you're not learning, you're not growing. You're not. And it's like you're going to have tons of trials, tons of different seasons where it's ups and downs. You're going to have mountain after mountain that you have to face adversity-wise. So get used to it. Get used to it. Life's not easy. Choose your hard and just move on. The show goes on with that.
Yep.
Okay, so limiting belief numero 4. My past will always negatively influence my future. This is a good one. This is good.
This is for the, I would say this is the snowflake one.
Yeah, definitely. This is the victim mentality. Victim mentality one, guys. I'm not sorry, but it really is. Get over yourself, get over your past. Stuff happens. We all go through, like I said, we all go through trials. We all go through dark seasons in life. But ultimately, it's like, how do you get out of that? If you continue to stay there, put your mindset there, your heart and your soul there, then you're not gonna grow from it. You're not gonna move from it. It's always gonna be following you somehow. Yeah. And it's just, this is all just like towards like victim mentality. Just you have. I promise you, every day that you wake up in the morning, I truly believe this, man. It's your choice to be in a positive or negative state. It really is. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care what happened. It's your choice. You could either make that, you control your thoughts, your attitudes, and your actions. You have full control of that. Mm-hmm. So when you want to think negatively, it's you. You're bringing that energy upon yourself. You're going to face the day with that. Then you're going to just be a cancer and contagious to all the people around you. So that's the best thing I could say for this one.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to get into this, man, because I think you covered it really well right there. But I can go on a whole tangent on this, but with the whole victim mentality and just talking about everybody's past. Everybody has a negative thing in their past, so there's no reason to dive deeper into this because I'll just extend it too much.
Yeah, no one's perfect, guys. Everyone has a past. It's like, turn your messes into your messages.
Yeah, exactly. Use it as fuel. Limiting belief number 5 is my resources are limited. This is another one that kind of like goes into more of like a snowflake one and more kind of like a victim role. People use this excuse all day, every day about why they can't achieve their goals or hit their dreams or build their businesses or make money or whatever it is because they don't have resources and they're limited, and this other person has the resources and they're favored or they're blessed or something like that, right? I know, my bad. I know you're probably like, dude, why did you do that? Just really quick, and we'll be back to that video. I just want you to join our free Facebook group community for health and fitness coaches looking to get more online clients. So just click the link below in the description box, join it absolutely free. We got some cool stuff in there, a lot of videos, do live trainings every couple of months on there. And we got some cool freebies on there. So just make sure to click the link below, join our free Facebook group for health and fitness coaches that want to level up and get more online clients to create more income, impact, influence, independence. Back to the video. If you compare two people, like the very first person is like they grew up in poverty, right? And they're trying to build a business, okay? They don't have resources, right? And then person B, they grew up rich or whatever like that, and they had all the resources, all the education, all the wealthy parents, educated and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, looking at that straight from just kind of the way I'm breaking it down, option B, that person's going to have more resources and more of an edge, right? And they're not an edge, but they're going to have... they're just going to have, how do I put it? They're going to have more of an advantage, that person B, than person A, on paper in the way I broke it down, okay? But that does not mean that person A isn't going to have that chip on their shoulder, isn't going to have that competitive advantage, right? Isn't going to outwork their potential or outwork their competition, right? In that journey that they're on to making more money, helping more people, whatever it is they want to do, live a better life, because that person B could grow up with all the resources and have that advantage. But what makes you think that they're going to have that chip on their shoulder, they're going to have that competitive edge, that they're going to have that relentlessness, that resilienceness, right? Who knows? I don't know, right? They could, and if they do, awesome. That's going to even help them out even more, right? But you can't use that excuse that you have limited resources, right, and compare yourself to somebody else, because that's a whole nother limiting belief, is comparing yourself to somebody else like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would even say too, it's more of the you understanding and just being and having more of an abundant mindset, when it comes to this, that where it's like, again, yes, like you might not have all the resources that somebody else has. Great, like cry me a river, like whatever. Like again, it goes back to victim mentality. Like you have plenty of resources in the tip of your fingers right now, with the phones, everything.
Yeah.
So you're not limited. And if you really play that game, then that's that's the type of energy you're going to get, like in your business, in life, and what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
So no, be a little bit more abundant, and just again, be resourceful, like figure things out, just put a little bit more sweat equity into it, put a little bit more effort into it. There's nothing wrong with that. I promise you guys, if you guys stick with it, you guys put in the work, pay your dues, good things will happen. I truly believe that. Put good energy and good work ethic and have good integrity out to the universe. I promise, God's good. Like He wants you to win. He'll help you out. He'll bless you. Mm-hmm. Okay. So limiting belief number 6 is lack of major progress means failure. Okay. So this one's good too. Lack of major progress means failure. And again, I think this one too just goes back to the same thing. Just you guys have to stop looking at this word failure and put it on a pedestal. I really hate it when I hear the word failure. Again, it's just about learning lessons, right? Just understand that it's like you guys are going to fail, whatever. You guys are going to learn, and you're going to have those trials. But it's like if you sit there and make small progress all throughout this, right, this journey, if you sit there and be a student, you're hungry every single day, how do you think that that's going to compound? It's like compound interest, right? When you're buying stocks. Same thing. It's like it's going to compound over days. It's going to compound over weeks. It's going to compound over months. It's going to compound over years, to where how are you not going to win?
Yeah.
If you stick with that type of work ethic and mentality, how will you not win? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So you have to just understand that. And again, stop buying into the instant gratification. Stop buying into all the highlights on social media. It doesn't work like that, guys. It takes time. And if you can't buy into playing the infinite game in this game of business and life, if you're chasing the finite game, you're going to lose. You're going to lose, because life doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like very few people will get very instantaneously, successful or rich or quote unquote whatever it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good, man. Everything you said was good on it. The last thing I can kind of add to that is just like if people just go back to this basic method of like setting goals, right? The SMART goals, SMART.
Yeah, that's good.
It's called like, I think it's short, measurable, it's attainable, realistic or relevant, and then it's timetable, like however long that takes. If you use that concept and you start just making small little SMART goals like that and getting small wins, and like you said, they compound. I mean, what do you think is going to happen over weeks, months, like a quarter, over years, right? All that stuff's going to add up, right? And those are going to be leading to those major like progresses that you're like seeking, right? To build a business, make more money, more impact, whatever it is,
Yeah, and real quick on that, that's exactly too. I remember when we first started business coaching, and we made this mistake too with like our coaches, where we'd be like, hey, like, let's figure out your vision. Let's figure out your 1-year vision, your 2-year vision, your 5-year vision. And I think back, I'm just like, that's like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, no, that's too far to like, do that. So it's like, no, that's why we do 6-week scale cycles now, because so they can move the needle forward.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to limiting belief number 7. So I compare myself to others. So this is a very huge one, is comparison syndrome. It's a huge limiting belief. Yeah, everybody's dealt with this. I don't care what anybody says, what level they're at, how hardcore they are. Everybody has dealt with comparison syndrome, okay? Now with this, I'm not going to go super deep into this one, because this one to me is just kind of like, it's a little bit self-explanatory. Yeah. Like, come on, like the biggest thing is like, don't do this, because you can't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10, right? Mm-hmm. You can't compare yourself at where you're at on the success ladder of step 1 or step 2 to somebody else's step 20, step 25, whatever it is. If somebody is in the game longer, they have more experience, if they know how to play the game better than you, right, and they have less experience, you still can't compare yourself to it. It just means that you are not as good, you don't have as much skills as them, right? Maybe you don't have as much experience, whatever it is, right? But you cannot sit there and compare yourself to this person or whoever it is, because you will lose this game if you sit there and constantly compare yourself to this person. I promise you will. This really messed me for a lot of years.
I was going to say, we used to struggle with this.
So I'm telling you, it does absolutely no good to sit there and compare yourself. I know it's hard, but just catch it quick and just eliminate it fast.
Yeah, let me add something in here too for you guys. This is really important, so just stay with me. You have to grow there before you go there. That's what our pastor says, and it's really true. So when you're comparing yourself, you just think about it. You're not there yet. Like Chris said, you have to grow there. You have to put the sets and reps in. You have to pay your dues in order to get there, and really just like be on that level. And then another thing too, make sure you guys are rooting people on. Like, I hate the word competition. You guys get that out of your guys' mentality, your vocabulary. If you're an entrepreneur, it's not competition. Look at people as like your allies, and look at them as inspiration and motivation. If they can do that, and you're aspiring to get to that level, why can't you do it? That's the way I look at it. It's just going to take more time. There's going to be a different route that I have to go. It might take me longer. It's okay though. Yeah. Like, I can get there. So cheer people on. Don't put that negative energy out there that like you're hating on people, or you're wishing them bad luck, because I promise you guys that will come back your way, and you guys don't want that.
Yeah, just one more thing to add to that. Yeah. Makes this another good one. Yeah. Is like, let's just look at like sports analogies, right? Somebody can be in the NBA, but they're never going to be Michael Jordan. They're never going to be Kobe Bryant. They're never going to be as good as like Steph Curry, like at shooting threes, right? Doesn't matter how much they practice, how much like reps and sets they put in. They just may not have that God-given potential and that skill set that they have, right? Yeah. And that's just something you might have to come to reality if you're an entrepreneur as well. And that's okay. That does not mean you can't make more money, you can't make more impact, you can't have more independence like in your life. You just have to be good and different at something else that you do. That's all it really is.
Yeah, great point. Okay, so moving on to limiting belief number 8. I am not responsible for my current situation. Okay, guys, this is another one, another victim mentality limiting belief. Yeah. So if you guys are thinking like this, I got to call you out, and you guys got to stop doing that, because it's not about you. This life is not about you. It's about being a better person. It's about, I'm going to always say, it's about doing it God's way. It's about living faith-driven, and living a life we're telling a story about. That's what I think it's all about, and it's about impacting other people. So stop with this, like, I'm not responsible for your current situation. Like, you are 100% responsible for your current situation, and you have every ability to get yourself out of this current situation. So if you're in a bad situation right now, again, get around the right people. Start plugging into the right things. Mindset-wise, start watching better videos. Start listening to better podcasts. Again, join some form of community that's going to uplift you. It's all in your guys' hands. It's just, you guys got to want the change. And again, the victim mentality, it's never going to take you to where you are. It's just going to paralyze you, and it's going to keep putting you back, and it's not going to leave you fulfilled. So that one, let's just move on from that one, because that one just varies just straight to the point.
Yeah. Okay. So number 9. 2 more. Number 9 is I don't deserve success. Okay. So this one, I don't even like the way this is kind of phrased. I don't deserve success, because the truth is like, you don't deserve success, right? Like,
that's entitlement.
It's entitlement, right? And it's just like, you don't deserve that. But if you earn it, then absolutely you can have success, right? So that's something you got to catch yourself saying too, is like, I deserve this. No, you don't deserve it, right? But if you earn it, right? Okay, great. I catch myself where I'm just like, I see people accomplishing things, and I've said it in the past. Well, like, well done, you deserve that. And it's like, okay, well, maybe they didn't. I should reframe that and be like, you know what, you earned that. Great job, you earned that, right? So stop thinking you deserve something. It's just kind of like the whole thing with the pursuit of happiness, right? That slogan. It's like, you're not entitled to be happy, right? Like, you are entitled to have that pursuit to be happy. What is that? What's the pursuit mean? That means you putting in the work, earning it, and going through that journey to be happy. Yeah. So it's the same thing with this. You don't deserve this success, but if you earn it, you put in the sets, and you understand that, okay, great, then you're going to reach success, and Yeah,
and I ultimately think that it just makes for a better journey. When you look back at it, and like, you're like 5 years, 10 years in, you're like, dang, like, that was actually a cool journey. Just because, like, I did go through some hard times. I went through some great times, but I learned so much. My mind's more abundant. Everything's more clear now. Like, life is more simple. Like, I don't have to do this and that I hate doing, I used to hate doing. So, yeah, the whole thing with the pursuit of happiness, man, that's so spot on. And it just, you got to tie that into with, like, business and everything else you're doing as well too.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, let's finish this strong. So the last limiting belief is, and this is a good one to end with, I worry what others think about me.
It's like imposter syndrome,
right? That's a whole thing of imposter syndrome. And yes, guys, imposter syndrome is very real. We've struggled with this heavily, when we first got into being health and fitness coaches and then transfer and then converting over to business coaches. Oh, that was very difficult. Having 8 years under your belt as health and fitness coaches, then you decide to want to coach people in business and help them make money. There's a lot of imposter syndrome that was there, but we've overcome it, to a very, very good degree. And I'm not gonna even lie, guys, I'm gonna keep it real. I still have my moments where I feel like an imposter. Chris will be the first one to tell you, and I just think that that's something that you're never gonna fully be able to get rid of. You're not. And whoever tells you that, like whoever successful person tells you that, I think they're just full of shit.
Yeah.
I really do, because they cannot tell me that some days that they wake up and they don't feel like an imposter, or they don't have it figured out, or they don't know what the next step is. Because life is complicated. There's so much going on, guys. There's so much going on in the world to where it's like, yes, we are going to feel like imposters, and that's perfectly healthy in my opinion. So when it comes to imposter syndrome, guys, again, embrace it. It's not a bad thing. You're not weird. You're not a failure for it. Don't shame yourself. Don't guilt yourself for it. Embrace it and be like, this is cool because like I'm actually different and I'm thinking bigger. And to me, I respect those that think bigger and play bigger in life. So
just to quickly add to that, I just think it's like you're running your own race. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just like, don't worry too much what people are caring about, right? Just worry about like the work that you're doing to understand that it's important, that it's ethical, that you're making a difference, a change, and you're getting 1% better every day. And again, you're just moving that money and meaning needle forward to make bigger impact and make bigger strides in business or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And that's really it, man.
Yeah, and this is why community is so big. Yeah. Like if you're having imposter syndrome, be around a community that's going to uplift you and understand what you're going through, right? Isolation kills, community heals. So that's it. We'll land the plane there, guys. But that was 10 limiting beliefs that we feel are very, very just powerful ones that we hear on a day-to-day basis. And I really hope that this was helpful for you guys and one of these resonated with you. And one of our just like discussions really hits home and just put into action, because again, they're just limiting beliefs. They're not set in stone. They're not concrete in your brain. So just remember that they're just limiting beliefs and false belief patterns, and you guys can change them. Okay. So with that said, too, if you are a health and fitness coach and you're struggling with some of these limiting beliefs, and again, you guys are looking for some good coaching, some good content, and most importantly, a thriving community that's going to uplift you during these dark times of when you think like these limiting beliefs, then we invite you to a 15-minute brainstorming call with us, and you guys can get that. You guys can schedule that on our Instagram Linktree at Chris and Eric Martinez. Literally, leave your credit cards at home. It'll be 15 minutes. Just ask you some questions and see if we can ultimately help you. Okay.
And if you're watching on YouTube, check out the link in the description box. We do not bite.
All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Share this out if you found value, and we will catch you on the next one. Have a blessed day.